All right, you're watching this video because your OXO grinder stopped working, or maybe you just want to do a deep clean. First, what you're gonna do is get a regular Phillips screwdriver and take out the 7 screws on the bottom. The bottom comes out open. I'm not gonna bore you with showing you how to unscrew stuff, okay? Then you're gonna need a 6-inch needle nose pliers. These are available at Harbor Freight Tools. I got them on special today for $2.99, but price may vary if you don't have them. Now, inside of this chamber here, I've already done the work, but there's a pin mechanism. Okay, so you grab the pin with your pliers, you get this past 15 on the grinding settings, and then you pull up, and you see that? It comes right off. And it's actually, you know, fairly difficult, even though it was like my 3rd time doing it, because this thing's just like not working. It's really weird right now. So now that that's off, using your needle nose pliers, you have access to these screws up here. And you can take these screws off, but be careful, there's this little pin, and I don't know if I have this right, because it fell out the first time I did it, and that's where I put it back. But I'm trying to figure out why, for some reason, when this is on top of here, only the button next to this little spring, and that's like the sensor, that's the only way I can get this motor to work. So what you're gonna do is take this off and clean up in there with brushes. I'll show from another video that I did. This is my 2nd time getting in here, or 3rd. Because I'm trying to figure out, this thing will only run if this is down. But the other problem I'm having is once everything's reassembled, it's not running. You know, it only runs, like if I just had this right here and I press this down with my finger or like a screwdriver, it'll run, it'll grind. But obviously to hold all the grinds in, you're supposed to have this globe in. But when this globe's on and I'm pushing down, it doesn't depress it. It doesn't run. So what I need to figure out, I'm gonna take these off again, and I'm gonna see if there's a way driver on these last 2, and I lift it up to kind of get them up and out of the way. So now you're in this grinder group. Okay, make sure it's unplugged. Now you could take these 3 out. That's what I did initially and cleaned up under there, but I know it's clean. My issue right now that I'm having, is this little, where did it go? I just knocked it out. This little spring pin thing, which I set it there for now because I thought, oh, you know, that's where it needs to be. But if it's not working the way I need it to work, I need to figure out what can I do. So we got the 7 screws on the bottom, and then I've got my 5 screws left to go here. Let me make sure, okay. So I've got 1 tiny screw and 4 regular size screw. And then this thing, remember, this is gonna go into here like that. And you don't wanna push this thing down because it's hanging there loose. It's not really attached to anything, which is super weird. But that's just how they made it, I guess. Unless it was and I just didn't know, but I didn't see it attached to anything. So if you see it when you're taking it apart, kudos to you. You can write it in the comments. But when you set this thing on there, you're just gonna make it to where, here, I'll try to do it one-handed. I just did it a minute ago, but I dropped a screw, so I had to reshoot it. But yeah, so anyways, you see how that thing sticks up? Here, that little switch, or I don't know what you wanna call it. You see that? There it is right there, and it's got a spring on it. So anytime you depress the machine, it knows that it's safe. Yeah, I don't know. I hope that holds it up without it dropping down, because I'm testing it out right now. Yeah, I think that's gonna hold all right because it's in there. But I don't know. I just don't like that design that much. There's coffee grounds got in there and everything else. Oh, I guess the way it doesn't fall is you just screw it in with this little, that's what this little baby screw is next to it. And then the other 4 go into those spots. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera off and do that. Look at how many grounds are just, this is about 2 years, 2.5 years of accumulation. Even though I always did a good job cleaning it per the instructions, there's just a lot of gunk in here. So one of the comments in the other YouTube video said this black wire, the thing that was connected, this is it. It's connected to black wires. This is the only thing I see connected to black wires. So this must be what's gunked up. You can see there's a lot of gunk. then I just need to do some cleaning, and I'll show you the after product, and I'll turn it back on and see if it works. So right now, yeah, by the way, before I opened this up, it was not working. So this will be a proof positive, see if that's all it was. Yeah, so I did a thorough cleaning. This brush was really helpful because it has a two-sided, like a steel brush, if you can find one like that. And I got into every part when everything was open. And sure enough, that guy on Instagram or on YouTube was right. It's this little piece right here. That's what senses that the motor. So mine wouldn't turn on because this was clogged up with grinds. I'm going to show you in a second, but check this out. I don't even want to put my finger close to this grinder because it's super dangerous. But the motor wasn't working prior to doing this whole cleaning job. Here, let me zoom out. But watch this. If I press down on that, see that? So it works. The only reason it wasn't is because nothing's screwed in right now, so it's rocking. But so as long as this goes down, then the machine runs. So I'm gonna walk you through this really quick without knocking this pegboard over, hopefully. Okay, that thing catches heat. So that's gonna happen to you when you take that thing off, and that happened to me earlier, and I didn't know where it went, but I guessed right. This little spring has to go down into that hole, which is a stainless steel hole right there. You can see that one. And this lines up to number 15. It has 15 printed out. Here, I'll show you on the, which is nice because all you need to do is line this up and then use your logic too. So 15 goes to 15, but also bear in mind where the holes are at. So, and then you'll know that goes like that. And then you'll take this here, something like that. And that goes into here to where that stainless steel hole was, which I have it a little off. Yeah, I was just eyeballing it for the camera. But yeah, see, so now that looks, well, I guess that's right. That doesn't look right to me. Let me see. That would look more about right. About like that. 15. But yeah, I don't know. This has to line up, unfortunately. So I'm going to mess with it some more. And I say unfortunately because I know I'm really close to the end. Yeah, I think that's right. Something like that. But the key is that little stainless steel part, this spring, I mean, with the spring has like black plastic on it. But that has to go wherever that stainless steel hole. Yeah, there it is. I can see it right there. It's got to go right here. And I should probably unplug this because this is low-key sort of dangerous. But I'm going to get it right before I screw everything in. But you can see, in other words, I proved that it's not defective. The motor works. But long story long, if you watch the whole video, you have to take your 9-inch needle nose pliers, go in from the underside after take the screws out, and pull that pin down. Simultaneously, you'll have it sideways. While you're holding that pin, you're pulling the pin towards the bottom. On the top, you'd be pulling this assembly out, which is what I did. Well, first you take screws out from the top as well. But yeah, I'll put some information on the screen, but I hope that helps someone. This grinder's still good, and I knew it because I hardly use it. And so I was like, there's no way it's all right. And I did do the regular maintenance. This sucks that you had to do a deep. But if you want to save $100 and you like your grinder, I hope it doesn't happen. I think what caused it, you're probably wondering, it's this little piece right here, which I'm not sure if all my video edits, you'll see this from earlier, but it's the one with 2 wires hanging from it. And what happens is they didn't design it well enough to seal little grinds from getting it. So after 2 years, 2.5 years, in my case, 3 years, it could be sooner. It gets, if you're using it all the time, it gets clogged. And then it's no longer good unless you take it apart. They should have made it easier to take this whole thing apart, in my opinion. I don't know why brands do that, but I was able to do it even without compressor, just blowing in that thing and taking little, putting brushes in there. And yeah, and then I figured while I was in there, I might as well clean the rest of the machine. But it's a beautiful, like the motherboard and everything, it's really well designed, the electrician side of things. But that is a engineering flaw, in my opinion. That should be, and actually I need to be smart and unplug this thing so I don't grind my finger off. But I mean, I'm keeping away from the middle anyway. But yeah, that should have been, I don't know, I guess there's no better way to do it, but this should have a little door then right here. It should have a little flap with a little door that says, and has on the manual, and they made the wires maybe a little extra long so you could pull it out and blow on it after a year or two and then close that little door. Maybe in the future, Oxo will do that. They could hire me as a product developer. JK. But yeah, I hope this video helped you, and enjoy your coffee, dudes. I'll show you a cup at the end.